Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, as the title says, what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk about building healthy habits and how to keep those healthy habits, and then we're going to use the same method to unbuild those unhealthy habits that we have. So so the book that I was reading that I got this information from is called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I can't say enough good things about them. It's definitely a good book that you need to read, and a book that just is so inspiring, and a book that I feel like you need in your life. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's go. All right, so when I think of a habit, I think of something that I do automatically without even thinking about doing it, if that makes sense. Like, for example, when I'm thirsty, I'll go and I'll grab a cup of water and I'll drink water. That's a habit that I've formed for myself. Also, whenever you flush the toilet, for example, you follow that up by washing your hands with soap and water. That's a habit. Brushing your teeth in the morning, washing your face, that's also a very good habit. Just like flicking on the light in a dark room is a habit. You do it without even thinking because you're like, I need to see, Good habits. All right, so now I wrote down notes as always. All right, so there's 4 key things into breaking a bad habit. Okay, so you have a cue, you have a craving, you have a response, and you have a reward, right? So for the cue, we're gonna try to make it invisible. Craving, we're gonna make it attractive. The response, we're gonna make it difficult. And then the reward, we're gonna make very unsatisfying. Okay, so the cue that sparks the habits are often so common that they become invisible to our conscious. For example, your phone right next to you when you study, or the cookies in your counter. Our responses to these cues are so hardwired that we begin the process of behavioral change without awareness. So for example, the cookies in your counter, you'll see them and you'll be like, I want one. Like if you were to not have it there, it's easier to find that self-control. It's easier to have self-control when you don't have to use it often. So the next one is going to be to make it less attractive. So for example, for me, I guess a good one would be binge eating. So how can I make binge eating less attractive? So for me, it's thinking about it and going, okay, well, how am I going to feel after I binge eat? Like I feel like the guilt comes with it, and I have to remember that I'm not going to feel my greatest afterwards, and I have to kind of key into that and make that very unsatisfying and make it relevant to myself, that I don't want to feel lethargic and icky about myself, for lack of a better word, so I try to avoid that at all costs. All right, the next one was to make it easy. So habits are formed based on frequency, not time. The frequency and repetitions over time make a difference. So like, for example, for me, if I want to work out that day, for example, or if I want to eat healthy that day, okay, we're gonna use 2 examples here because I can't pick. So if I want to eat healthier that day, then make sure that I have a healthy meal in mind, or whatever I'm craving that day I'll have, whether that be oatmeal or avocado toast or eggs and pancakes, have that like semi-prepped, or have an idea of what you want and then go in and make that idea. And then also, for say I want to work out that day, have those workout clothes that you want to wear that particular day right beside your bed. So when you get up in the morning, you're like, okay, I need to work out, let's go do that. Before you can like talk yourself out of doing it, have like that 5-second rule and be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go, So that's always there for you. So with that being said, when it comes to a good habit, you want to increase, like make the good habits easier to get to and make the hard habits harder to get to, if that makes sense. So like, say you have an addiction to chips. You're not going to want chips laying on your counter, right? You're going to want to make this habit harder to get to. So don't have it in your house And that way you won't feel like you need to get it, you know? And if you do, then it's like, okay, but now I have to walk to get it. Is it worth it? Do I really, really want to put in that work to go get it? Or is it something that I can avoid, you know? So it really just makes the thinking process more there. And it makes it harder for you to do, you know? So yeah. And then also you have to realize that a habit needs to be noted before it can be improved. So like, say you want to floss your teeth with brushing your teeth. You want to floss after you brush your teeth. So you need to make a note of it and kind of put it down in your calendar or whatever the case may be, you know, write it down and say it to yourself visually, or put it in your calendar and then jot down points and then think about doing it, because usually habits are like this and you don't have to think about it, but if you can combine it with something else that you were going to do naturally, then it becomes more of a natural thing to do, and over time you'll realize that you just do it automatically, and that's kind of fun and kind of good to see, you know? So yeah. All right, and then the next one is to make it satisfying. So as humans, we like things to be like, we like rewards. We like to see progress and see, like, you know, quick rewards. And we like things to be here right now. Okay, so and I find that with bad habits, the outcomes are honestly, like, the rewards are right then and there versus good habits. The reverse, the outcomes aren't right then and there right away. So when it comes to those bad habits, you want to try to make them less attractive, as I just said. So try to, like, how do I explain this? So to make those habits less attractive, try to think about the bad parts of those habits, you know? Like, think about something bad in that particular situation that can be linked to that bad habit that you don't want to happen. And then for the good habits, think about something that's more satisfying. So like working out, completing a workout. Like, you know, how do you treat yourself after you've completed a workout? Maybe have one of your favorite meals, you know, and tell yourself that if you worked out today, then maybe you're allowed to have a cookie or something, you know, or you worked out today, so maybe you can watch your favorite Netflix movie or series, and while you do that, combine it with like skipping, or you can skip while you watch Netflix, since you love Netflix so much, you know. It's just all about like habit combining and then having those two go hand in hand and kind of tracking that and stuff. So I love to see it. All right, so then also think of like the Incentric rewards, right? So think about how you'll feel after a workout. So for example, for me after a workout, I usually feel so much more energized, and there's more like endorphins flowing, and I feel like I was actually able to take time and look after myself and be there for myself more, say. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. And I just feel better overall, so I love that. All right, and my next tip for like forming a good habit is to start off very, very slowly, and then to like never try to miss twice in a row. Once is a mistake, twice is you forming that new habit. See what I'm saying? So make sure that you're getting the repetitions in slowly but surely. But however, if you do miss a day, don't beat yourself back up. Don't beat yourself up, just get back on it the following day. All right, and now like I'm gonna talk about the insights of the book. I'm not gonna talk about too much of them, but I will talk about a bit of them. Atomic Habits talks about the power and process of building good habits and breaking bad ones. This book is a book you need in your life. I can't say more good things about it. So yeah, all right, and then there's the 1% power rule. So with the power of getting 1% better each day, by the end of the year, you'd get better by 37%. And of course, vice versa, you'd get worse by 37% if you didn't implement good habits, XYZ, right? And then number 2, the second part of the book, it says screw goals and focus on systems instead. And it talks about how winners and losers have the same goals. It talks about making bad habits. Bad habits make time your enemy, while good habits make time your ally. So we're trying to build up on those good habits. All right, and then you have to realize that achieving a goal is only a momentary change. So for me, because I love to like try to relate things to myself, so for me, my goal is let's lose my stomach, right? So that's only a temporary change, because you have to think about what happens when you get to that certain goal. So when you get to that certain goal, then what do you want? You know, so instead of trying to fit into that, right, you have to think of it as, but how am I going to get there? You know, what habits do I need to implement to get there? So you got to think about the identity behind it, and you have to think, okay, so in order to lose a said belly fat, I need to remotely eat healthier. I need to focus a lot on my diet. I need to try to be more of an athlete, you know, all that good stuff that comes into play versus I need to just lose belly fat. You got to think of the identity behind it, and then it's like a feel good kind of thing, because the more you work out, the more you build up that habit, and the more you eat healthy, the more you build up that habit as well, and you become more of that identity, you know? And you're still aiming towards that goal, but now you've focused on the system that led towards you reaching that goal, that will lead towards you reaching that goal in the end, you know? The end result. All right, next. So he also says that goals restrict our happiness. I think that this is very true, but you know, it's all about how you see fit. That's just how I see it. Okay, so the purpose of setting goals is to win the game. The purpose of building systems is to continue playing. So if you say, I just want to get a perkier butt, there's that. That's a goal. But if you say, I want to live a healthy and happy lifestyle, and I like training, I like leg days, then it's a lot better to focus on that and build that up as a system than it is to be like, okay, I just want a perky butt. Like, you know, it's the identity behind it that you really need to focus on, that I love so much. Then it talks about the 3 layers of behavioral change. I'm going to be talking your guys' ear off, so I don't really want to do that, but I 10 out of 10 recommend getting this book. You can get like the PDF and do that, but there's also an audiobook on YouTube, which I will link the description box too. Link the information too in the description box down below. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents. So I'm gonna end the video off here. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment with your future video requests down below. And don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you beautiful people in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Your support means the world to me. Bye.